So a few months ago, we did a video on the 2012 MacBook Pro, and I talked about how at the time that was the perfect laptop for me. It accomplished all of my basic needs since I'm not a really heavy laptop user. That was one of our first videos to ever blow up on the channel. We're super appreciative of that, but I wanted to do a follow-up video to that since my entire laptop need situation has completely changed. I'd love to tell you more about it, so let's talk tech. My name is Arnell with Arnley Tech. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about a rather unconventional laptop replacement. Now, I'm not a really heavy user when it comes to, doing a lot of heavy applications, lots of video editing, lots of photo rendering, and all these kind of things. But I just wanted to share with you my experiences of switching from using a laptop primarily over to using an iPad. That's right, I am using an iPad as my laptop replacement, and it's actually been really great. Let's go over all the different things that has helped make the transition from a actual physical laptop over to an iPad. So one of the biggest noticeable things for me was the performance. Now, if you remember in my older video when I talked about the older MacBook Pro, again, it's an older Pro, so you can't really fault it for this, but it was the performance that was a big hang up for me. It took a long time for the computer to actually boot up. It took honestly like 1.5 to 2 minutes, sometimes even longer, for you to turn it on and actually be able to start using the device. Now with the iPad, I can just open it, use it, go jump right on the internet and do anything I need to do. So it's honestly great being able to have pretty much instant power and access to whatever I want and not feel it ever really slow down or hiccup or stutter at any time. Now, with this being an iPad, again, still within the Apple ecosystem, there was lots of connectivity between my iPhone and the MacBook, but honestly, I feel like there's a bit more connectivity, at least in this particular situation. Coming from an older MacBook to a newer iPad, I'm feeling a lot more connectivity between my phone and my iPad. If I'm writing something in my Notes app, then I can, in real time, look at it in my iPad. If I sent an iMessage to somebody on my phone, I can look at it on my iPad, and all of this stuff works vice versa. It's great. Now, to some extent, all of those things I just talked about I could do with my older MacBook, but again, sometimes it would take a long time for iMessages to load all of my previous chat histories, or I wouldn't have all the same things that you have available in iMessage, like GIFs and different apps like Bitmoji and stuff like that. I couldn't do that with my older MacBook, where I can do that with the iPad. Now, that's not a real make it or break it thing, but that just helps to keep with the flow of continuity because I can very easily just do whatever I'm doing on my iPad and do it on my phone, and vice versa. All that's really different is just being from a smaller screen on my iPhone to a much larger screen on the iPad, and it's great. I absolutely love it. Now, the next thing is that it's just so versatile. I mean, the iPad is physically smaller than the MacBook. That's a no-brainer, but it's so lightweight as well compared to the MacBook Pro. I can just very easily slip it into a backpack, into some luggage if I'm going on a trip, and sometimes I forget that I'm even carrying it around. I have a nice leather case with it too, so that obviously just helps keep it protected from getting scratched and stuff like that. I can just very easily just use this iPad that's so portable and lightweight I can bring with me anywhere, so that way if I'm starting a project on one device I can finish it on the iPad or vice versa. It's great having the full functionality of something that's a lot more modern but also not very expensive that you would find with other Apple products, which kind of leads to the next point, is that this is a relatively budget affordable option. If you're somebody that is looking at upgrading from either a old laptop or just an old iPad, you're looking at just getting something that is larger for productivity. You just want a larger screen to be able to do different apps that you would normally do on your phone, but you just want it on a larger experience. I definitely recommend the iPad 9th generation. There is a 10th generation that's out. It's a bit more expensive and it has a nicer, sexier look to it. Now, is it really worth the extra upcharge between the 10th and the 9th generation? I'll leave that up to you, but for me, I got my iPad 9th gen brand new for $270. I honestly can't beat that. We'll have links down below for the current best pricing that you can get through our Amazon affiliate links. Definitely check those out. But for $270, I can get access to a lot of the different features, most of the features that any iPad comes with. Now, granted, is it going to have the M1 chip performance like the iPad Pro? No. Is it going to have a massive display like the iPad 12.9 inch? No. It's not, but it will be able to do a lot of the main tasks that really 99% of the general populace would use an iPad for, and it does it in relatively reasonable amount of time. So for that price point and getting into that kind of functionality, I think that it is a phenomenal device that just about anybody that is shopping for an iPad should really consider. Now, real quick, before I get into some other points, I wanted to remind you that if you are finding value in this video, definitely hit that subscribe button and drop us a like. Let us know down in the comments below, do you have an iPad? What generation are you rocking? This 9th gen has an older design that you've seen throughout the years. Certainly doesn't look like a newer iPad. Looks like the same iPad we've had for years and years and years. So I'd definitely love to know, what kind of iPad are you using and what generation is it? How well is it held up for you? Now, up next, specifically of why I chose an iPad versus a newer MacBook or any kind of PC laptop. One of the main benefits that I really enjoy is the tight security that Apple has. The way that the security works with Apple, there's a lot of encryption, and almost think of it like every time that you jump in between apps, there's like walls that are up between every app that you're in. And a virus works the most effective when it jumps from app to app to app, and it infects and spreads out all throughout your device. But the way that Apple's ecosystem works, especially with iPads, there's lots of encryption and security with each individual app. And so because of that, I felt a lot more secure with getting an iPad to keep just all of my stuff secure, prevent any viruses. I can't remember the last time I had some sort of major game-breaking issue or bug or virus going on with any of my Apple products. Now, yes, you're not really going to hear of any issues with MacBooks as well as far as viruses. They can happen. That's not to say it's impossible, but it's not as often as PCs and other types of devices. But for me, I didn't want to spend that MacBook price, went with an iPad, and can't beat it. But maybe you are not looking for a standard iPad 9th generation. Maybe you're looking for something like an iPad mini, or maybe you're looking for something like an iPad Pro. Definitely check out either of these videos here. We've done videos on those, so you know our thoughts. And without further ado, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.